Okay,
Recording in progress.
here we are. Car flipping couple, Dean and Sherry, with a little update
Yeah, an update.
where we are in the car flipping world. What happened?
Well, update over the past week and a half. Uh, it's not all good, but it's real. Uh, we had a. You want to talk about the Nissan?
Yeah, we'll talk about the
Uh,
Nissan first. That was a big
we
deal.
had. I bought. I know. I hear all the time, CVT transmission, CVT. But I went. I bought one, and it was nice. I mean, and it drove fine. Couldn't find a thing wrong with it. Um,
It was
but
nice.
everybody that came looked at it. They were had the transmission itis. But finally, we sold it. Got a
Oh,
good price out of it.
got a profit, right?
Then the following week, we started out the week good. We sold a truck, and
Our truck,
well,
our only truck.
we don't need to go into that, but
Yeah, we don't have a truck.
yeah, we're truckless. Uh, anyway, as soon as I sold the truck, the lady we sold the Nissan to, she
Cold.
called. I can't get it titled. Okay, well, okay. So fortunately, she had gone to a DMV close. So I said, okay, I'll just meet you over there. So I went over there trying to explain to the clerk, what the situation was, but no, it didn't work. Long story short, it took a week. I was over there 4 different times, and they weren't gonna. It was their way or no way. And the lady that bought the vehicle, she was being very patient, but
She
her
was.
patience was running out,
Rightfully so.
rightfully so.
But you should go into a little bit more detail. This lady, they actually apparently had never run into this before. They didn't know what to do. So they were just making up stuff as they went along. They were asking for paperwork we never had been asked for before. We were jumping through every hoop, and every time he went back over there, it's still no, not satisfied. So it was like this one individual just went to war against us being able to get this vehicle taken care of. So we honestly thought we were going to have our first return vehicle. We were sweating bullets for a little bit. It was very stressful.
But anyway, the following Monday, I I had all the paperwork they asked for, so I headed over there first thing and had them check it, and they said, "Yeah, we're good to go." So, long story short, again, she finally.
Relented.
I didn't leave until the person that bought the car and said, I told her, I'm not leaving here till I see you walking out with a license plate. And so anyway, it worked out
So yeah,
finally. So,
he's texted me while he's over there. It took forever, and I'm at home sweating bullets, praying literally, and that we could get this done because we don't want anybody to have a bad experience with us in buying cars from us. Obviously, you want uh you want people to walk away and feel like they had a good experience with you, and it was a really nice car. I mean, inside and out for I forget how many miles it had on what it wasn't even.
108.
Yeah, it was low mileage. It was a newer one. It was really nice car. And
But
she liked it. But
Nissan
it was a Nissan, and I now
with a CVT.
I mean literally, we one guy took the time to reach out to us on Marketplace, made an appointment to come here and see it, and then made some kind of declaration about it being a CVT and wouldn't even get in it and test drive it. So, if he knew that most Nissans have that, why he would come and make a test drive is still just beyond me.
Anyway, moving on. That was
That
a
worked.
debacle, and it worked out
It
in
worked
our
out.
favor.
But we do need the purpose behind talking about it is not just to vent a little bit. It's because our whole thing is to help other people who are beginning flippers or maybe have just flipped a couple of times and haven't run into something like this. So you can survive it. And, it's just a matter of staying with it and you can get it done, but it can be kind of scary, especially if you're first starting out and you haven't encountered that before. So I think it's a good thing to share that these things just
Hey,
happen.
bottom line, we made what, $2,800 on the car. So hey, I'll take it.
It was it was worth the fight. And we sold a nice vehicle because we only buy vehicles that we would drive ourselves. We don't buy junk just to flip it to flip something fast. We really try to meticulously pick things that we think looks good. It's got to pass the steering wheel test.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't pass the steering wheel test.
so moving on.
Okay, then what did we do
Well,
last week?
we had talked about before all that happened, we had talked about um, going to Nashville, Tennessee. Their auction is on Tuesday. So if you're going to try to buy something on Tuesday, you got to go on Monday.
You got to go to
Got
Nashville.
to go. So it was 11 around that. I texted her after the car thing, said, "Do you want to go to Tennessee?" So anyway, we hauled out and went to Tennessee.
We did.
And she's first time she ever been.
Oh man, this place now there I did take some video while we were down there, and I'm going to post that as a part one of our Nashville trip for last week so you can see this facility is impressive. I mean, I don't know what I thought when we started this whole car flipping journey. I had, I guess, junkyard kind of thing in my mind is what where how these cars would be set up and all that kind of stuff, and it's not like that at all. I mean, of all the places I've been so far with him, and they've all been nice, this one is like, oh my gosh, this one's next level. You go in, there's these big murals on the wall, and they're pro America. There's flags everywhere, big, almost like ceiling to floor screen on the wall. And then you go back into the area where they drive the cars through for the actual auction because you can bid online or you can physically go down there, right? You can be there physically to bid on the cars. And that area which you do see on the video, the other video, is like it's like a surgery suite back there. You could eat off the floors. It was impressive. And then how many cars do they have on that lot? Do you know?
Over 4,000.
It's
They're not
incredible.
all for sale at one time, but they do 3 sales a week. So they got a lot of cars.
A lot of
It's
cars
big.
when you're like our age and have the health challenges. Okay, we have some health challenges. We both have back issues now, and it's it's a deal. It's a deal, ain't it? It is. I mean, he muddles through, doesn't complain, and no matter how bad his back is hurting. But man, I hate that because I love going with him, and we enjoy our little road trips, and I like looking at the cars. I mean, it's just it's fun to see all the different cars and know that they're available, and maybe see something you can buy. But it's hard work.
Yeah, we had several cars picked out. One of the main ones we wanted to look at was what was 2011 Escalade. Uh, several cars, and it turns out that seems like everybody down there wanted to look at the same cars we were. 'Cause every time we turn around, somebody, oh, there goes the
Can we
Escalade.
pick them? We saw that Escalade go around the parking lot how many times? And the truck, we were looking at a Silverado, and those two especially, it was like every time we walked, looked up, those two vehicles were being test driven around the lot. So it's like, man, if all the vehicles here, everybody wants what we want. So,
Yeah.
but the Escalade, we should talk about that a little bit because
Well, go ahead. It wasn't bad, but
it was bad. It was
it
bad.
wasn't bad.
It didn't pass my.
Didn't pass our test.
No.
So
And I mean, it was an Escalade. If there'd been any hope, I would have been like, yeah,
it looked okay from the outside, but it had some, broken, nothing major, just
it was major enough that it just didn't feel right. It just didn't, even with those things that I know he could have fixed and repaired, it wasn't. And then it ended up at auction going for way more than what we would have
yeah.
we would have been comfortable putting in it anyway. So it did not pass my personal inspection. I just was like, no, let's move
Yeah,
on.
that was the story of that trip, that auction. Nothing that we looked at. It was a bust. I mean, nothing. I bid on a couple things, but uh,
Yes,
somebody
and
wanted them a lot worse than I did. Let's just put it that way.
we didn't know or we didn't check close enough or something. But when we left to go down there, which is a 2.5 hour drive for us, we didn't know that they closed at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we were literally like working around to see the vehicles we wanted to see. The guys who work there were trying to get those vehicles ready to line up to be sold the next day. We didn't know what was going on. I'm just like, why are these guys like out here? And again, it seemed like every vehicle we went to look at were the ones that were getting picked to be lined up. And the cruise, we couldn't find it. We went around and around trying to find this little cruise that he wanted to bid on. Well, guess what? It was number one. It was the very first car going through, and they had already moved it up to the auction area where they have them, where they line them up to drive them through. And so we got to sneak peek at it right before we left. It was nice too, but then what happened during the auction?
Yeah, well, like I say, you know, um, it's an auction. Some people got more money, can spend more money. They wanted them worse than I did. So, I I didn't get them.
That's
So
that's
you move on.
that's part of what I mean, that's the thing he does in this. Yes, I can give my opinion about, and he goes through all the numbers with me, and we do go cover all that together. But of course, he wants my opinion on the aesthetic part of it. What's this vehicle look like, and my opinion on that sort of thing. But he is the one who does the number crunching and the comparisons, and what would this vehicle be worth resale value or a private sale, selling it out of your driveway. That's the way I refer to it. And so he does all that ahead of time so that you can know what you're going to bid. I mean, unless you just have bottomless pit for pockets and you can just bid anything you want nonstop.
Well, the whole ideal is to make money. If you
Right,
can't make money, what's the point?
right,
I
right,
mean, and there's probably are people out there that they wanted it for themselves
right,
and
right,
they paid for it,
right.
which, okay, fine
Yeah.
by me. But
I got the impression that was probably the case with that Silverado. It was a nice truck. It really was. It was there was really no blemishes to speak of. Maybe a little dent somewhere, but other than that, inside looked nice. It was a nice truck. It would have been nice to have to drive for a little while and then turn around and flip it, and it would have flipped fast. Because in our market where we are, the two vehicles that seem to sell the fastest are trucks and vehicles that parents are buying for their kids for a first car. That seems to be our market here. So yeah, we could have sold that Silverado, but it went way over too, didn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Way
yeah.
over.
We didn't. We struck out. That was on Monday, and then of course our local sale is on Wednesday. So I went up there Wednesday in the rain. Uh, wasn't much to look at, to be honest with you. But we struck out again. So it's been a dry spell. So that's our update. But
Yeah. Well, and this
we're going back to Tennessee again this week.
tomorrow,
So so
tomorrow. So
hopefully
we
we'll the
yeah.
dry spell will be over.
Yeah, this is where I have to be real careful with him because he gets anxious if we don't, with the one vehicle that we got that we ended up having a bad experience with or losing money on, so to speak, um, was we kind of felt pressured to buy something. So he went
Yeah, well,
and
there's
but
there's more to that story.
there he is. There is a whole story there, which we'll have to share. Okay, so we made a buzz beeline trip to Nashville last week after we did manage to get back to the building just in time. They were locking it down. Literally, the lady was at the door locking the interior doors. I don't know what they do with the leftover people like us in the parking lot still at the end of the day, but she's locking doors and it's like, yeah, we're closing. And so we got out of there, went and grabbed us a Subway sandwich, and that was nice to sit down and have a bite to eat, get out of the wind and the heat, and made our way back home. And lo and behold, here we go again. So we'll do an update afterwards and let you know what we looked at, how the trip went.
You
Um,
you you took a lot of video of that trip to Tennessee. You gonna post that?
yes, I said earlier,
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
post it as like part one of our trip from last week, and I'll date it last week so you'll be able to know the difference. But it'll be part one. I'll post that one and this one.
Did you
So,
take any video of the facility?
yes, I did.
It
Yes.
is nice.
That's the very first part of the video. When you walk in, there was no way I could not get pictures of that because it is an impressive operation. I will say that about Manheim. They are impressive. So they are top shelf as far if you're in the car flipping world and you know what we're talking about, to be able to go down there and have the cars, are in order, lined up, and the facility is like it is. It's a very unique and nice experience. I felt like it really kind of elevates the whole car
All
flipping.
they need to do is rent scooters
They
for
they
us
need
old
to.
guys so we can,
We're
we
either
can.
either that or we got to learn to roller skate. I told you we could buy some of those sneakers with the. Of course, we'd end up in the ER in Nashville if we
Yeah,
tried that, but they do need to have people movers like they have in the airport, just driving around and saying what lane you going to. It would help a lot.
because it's bait. It's bait.
It
Really,
is.
it's
It'll
bait.
wear you out. I mean, even if you're not physically challenged, if you've got more than a handful of cars to look at, because one might be some of them might be kind of clustered together in one area of the place, but then you might have one that's 2 miles away on the other end of the parking lot. And it's a big parking lot. So anyway, but we're going to do it again. It'll be great. We'll rest up, get up early. He wants to go super early. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I think that's our car flipping
That's
update.
it. There you have it. We're all caught up.
Car
Yeah.
flipping couple update for last week.
Yep.
And next week, tomorrow, Nashville. And then our kids coming from out of town. So we're excited about that. Big week ahead.
Hopefully we'll be able to show a video of our purchases from Nashville.
Yes, we will.
Oh,
We have a good feeling about this.
so
Maybe I can get the video as the truck's bringing them in down the road
okay.
to unload them in the driveway.
Okay.
Anyway, so you have any questions? Oh, we have our school group. I want to tell you about that. We have a school group at carflippingforbeginners.com. You can find our school group. You can join there if you want to ask us some questions. If you're just getting started and not exactly sure what direction to go in, or you're just looking at some vehicles and would like an opinion on what you're looking at, or how he gathers his data and that sort of thing. So go over there and join the school group. We'd love to have you there. You can get on our email list. Also, we have a free download and I'll put all this in the description, but you can go to download.carflippingforbeginners.com and get his checklist that he made up, little checklist of the items that he specifically looks at and what he looks for when he goes to look at a vehicle. So you can get that free download and get on our email list so you can get all our updates and that sort of thing. And other than that, I think that's it. You guys be blessed. We'll see you next time.